Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Amenadel, aka Green Grow Guy. Excuse me, guys, this morning, still a cup of coffee going, all right? Because now that the summers are getting warmer, we're getting 80 degrees, 90-degree days, 70-degree nights, 80-degree nights, coming out, watering your garden, checking on everything early morning. That's the way to go, all right? Helps you not burn your plants up. You know what I mean? But low key, long story short, it's 6:30 in the a.m., y'all. That's why I sound crazy, and that's why I got this cup of coffee. And if you notice, it's black. My son used the last of the milk. Why are your kids always using the last of the milk? And then just don't say nothing. Because we could have had the milk. But I don't know. But anyway, let's get to it. Okay, everybody, I opened up the polycarbonate house, a greenhouse, for short. And with that being said, I honestly don't need to water it. Actually, what I discovered was it's a little damp in here, and an indicator of that was that I did see a couple of mushrooms growing in my tomatoes. Now, when you see mushrooms growing, y'all, in your container growing, your stuff is healthy. You know, that means that stuff is breaking down right. But it could be a sign of overwatering. We had a lot of rain the past 2 weeks. And even though my stuff is in containers and it's on top of concrete, it still has a water flow. You know what I mean? So they have been consistently getting wet. So what I'm actually going to do to make sure that I don't experience root rot because of overwatering, which if it's not something you continuously do, you'll be fine. Okay? Because in real life, you have rainy seasons. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm just going to let them dry out a couple days. You know what I mean? Keep eye on everything. Make sure it stays green. Nothing's getting super wilted. You know what I mean? Water it as I see. Because I do have some plants like tomatoes that suck water up like there's no tomorrow, especially when they're fruiting, and that's what they're doing right now. You know, the flowers are trying to pop out. So when your plants are flowering, guys, like everything is right now in my polycarbonate house and beginning to produce some sort of fruit or vegetable, you know what I mean? When I say let it dry out, I mean go back in 2 days and check it max. Okay? Because you want it to always have a certain amount of moisture in it. You don't want it to get bone dry because that's going to just stunt your situation. So what I'm going to do, guys, now at this point, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of my greenhouse because I actually haven't this year. And not for no particular reason, but just because I've been on my hustle and on my bustle. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be everywhere there's a corn to be made. You know, an honest corn to be made. I'm trying to be right there. But with that being said, we're probably about a month into my garden once the seeds come above the ground. So approximately like a month and a half into grow. In some situations, maybe like a month and 3 weeks. Okay? All right. So let's start at the very beginning. Turn this around for y'all. Okay, right here, guys, I actually planted corn. Okay? I had saw these and I was like, ooh, corn. So I had grabbed it. In my other video, I will let you guys know with no problem that my time was very minimum this year. So I just sprung and bought certain plants. Not all of them, but certain plants. Corn is going to be one of the plants that I actually went out and purchased in a flat of 6 for $2. I planted 4 and gave away 2. Look at that. Look at that. And the person I gave the corn to is actually growing their corn. And it looks absolutely fantastic. So this is my corn about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. You know what I mean? I'm thinking it's doing good. You know what I'm saying? This is my 2 ears or 2 stalks that I'm growing inside the polycarbonate house. But I also have 2 that I'm growing outside because I want to see the difference. You know what I'm saying? I know that ventilation is a big thing for corn. Airflow is a big thing for corn. And I'm trying to see and make sure that, you know what I mean, if I do decide to grow this in my polycarbonate house, that it'll get enough air circulation. I do have a solar fan that I am going to install in this polycarbonate house, hopefully within the next week or so. So that will help with the ventilation, especially when it gets a little bigger and starts to grow the tassels. But I'm being honest, guys. It's strong. It's upright. You know what I mean? I have no complaints. You know what I mean? It's, very healthy. If you guys can see it, sorry if I wasn't focused right. But if you guys can see, very healthy. You know what I mean? I can see it continuously wanting to grow. So I'm happy with it right now. I'll probably do a comparison later on to see the corn growing outside, what it's given. But so far, so good with this corn. I'm happy with it growing inside the polycarbonate house so far. All right. Right here is like a green bean trellis. Let me back up so you guys can see. It's a green bean trellis that I'm forming to grow green beans all year round. Okay. You can see they're at many different stages. I have flowers about to come. Then in some instances, like right here, you can see that I've already have green beans coming on some of these. Right here as well, there's green beans growing out of some of these. And the reason why, guys, is because you stagger plant these things on a calendar. All right? Because you want a continuous flow of the green beans all year round. So every week until about the first day of summer, maybe no later than the second week of summer, I'm out here just popping random green bean seeds in the ground, watering them, because as others burn out from production, new ones are going to be on their way, already producing. I got flowers. You know what I'm saying? I just, you guys can tell, I just frankenfenced. I am going to cut these zip ties. I ain't got to be that urban in my farm. And I ain't got to be that urban, y'all. I'm sorry. I ain't got to be that urban. But what I did was, guys, I just connected some chicken wire, bent that thing in a U, okay? And stuffed it right up in this grow bed right here, okay? I got some stakes in there a little bit, if you can see, like here and here, to, just help, mitigate it, push it to, either side so that it begins to grow up here. And you know what, guys? Not for nothing. This reusable material is doing the dang thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy with it so far, because one of my biggest issues with green beans is containing them. And if anybody that grows these, they know that this is one of the things, containing them and not smothering them in the same essence, so that you can get as many green beans as you want. So I'm kind of just letting them grow wild, but in the same essence, training them so that they can probably condition themselves to give themselves their own space to do their own thing. You know what I mean? Every now and then, you know what I mean, I'll come over. Oh, look, a little baby green bean, y'all. Y'all see it? And there's another one right there. See, it's doing its thing. So only thing I'm going to do, y'all, is just bend it up, and then train it. I'll probably set it up here like this. You know what I mean? Maybe zip tie it. Let me get a better view. Zip tie it somewhere so that it begins to grow up like that. Nothing is harmed. Nothing is hurt. And it's going to continue to grow. I had some down there too. Okay. But that's how you plant your green beans in succession, y'all. So that you can continue to eat it. You know what I mean? People say, how many should I plant? Do you eat a lot of green beans? Go from that point. We like green beans up in here, especially when you throw some turkey meat up in them bad boys. Urban farming. That's the disclaimer right there. Okay? So with that being said, y'all, succession plant, you know what I'm saying? You'll always have green beans popping out. Don't get discouraged when you see something all wilted like this. I got a little wilted one. I'm going to follow it down. If the rest of it's alive and it's growing, I'm going to clip it and just keep letting it do its thing. Very regenerative plant, okay? If you water it, you keep it moist right. You know what I mean? You see these leaves on here, guys. Look at these leaves. No bugs, no nothing. Okay? I'm taking care of my green beans this year. You know what I mean? Because we tear them up. We mess up green beans in our house. So the fact that I could save between 99 cents and $3 a bag, I'm hyped. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get bags and bags and bags of this before the winter. You know what I mean? And just put them in some Ziploc bags. You know what I mean? And store them in my freezer. It can't go to waste. You're going to eat the green beans. If you eat green beans, you're going to eat every last one of them that you grow. Because there's nothing wrong with harvesting them, cutting them down the way you want them cut. You know what I'm saying? Freezing them bad boys. You buy them from the store frozen. And another thing, guys, any of this empty space you see, I recently planted a round of green beans in any of this empty space that you see in the ground. So in about a week or two, I expect to see the next round of green beans growing up. The green beans you see are all going to have yielded by then. You know what I'm saying? Because I have it ranged. I've been planting green beans every week, maybe about for the last month. So that's why I have some green beans that are about this size down here that are ready to come off. Then I got some of these babies. You know what I mean? Initially, you're going to pick them. It's going to be weird when you're picking them. Initially. Because they're going to be at all different levels. But within a month after you stop planting them, that month and a half harvest, you'll be able to get a substantial amount off of it. Definitely a bag of green beans, because you'll have a lot, especially if you're taking care of your plant. Okay? So the next thing we're going to move on to is these godforsaken tomato plants. Okay? Now, I love my tomato plants, y'all. But no matter what type of tomato plant I buy, it tells me it's not going to grow. It's for the patio. It might be cherry. All my tomatoes be beefsteak. Even the cherry ones. And then my plants be growing all jagunta. Just like this. Try to take over the polycarbonate house. You know what I mean? But they so juicy and luscious. You know what I mean? It's succulent. You know what I mean? I can't grow them outside because then everybody gonna want to eat them. Okay? And I don't just mean the animals, y'all. Y'all don't understand. I grow peaches out in front of my house. We're going to go take a look at them at some point in this video. But when we get to the peaches, y'all, I'm telling y'all that they grow out front. People telling me I can't wait to eat these. So I keep my tomatoes in the backyard because I feel like if I didn't, by the time they fruit, it'll be bucky naked. Now, when I come and look at my garden, y'all, okay, these are it's like a mix of patio tomatoes, and I do think that I have a beefsteak out here. I had a Roma, but it didn't make it, so we actually got to watch them grow a little bit to see. You know what I mean? These got fertilized. Those are going to become tomatoes. See that? Those are definitely going to become tomatoes. This one right here, let me see. That's also going to become a tomato. And how I know is because I could tell it got fertilized is because this is the beginning of the tomato, and then there's going to be a little teeny ball in there. And guys, this is the way you fertilize your tomato plants, okay? Because for real, they're self-pollinating. Come on, leaf. Move out the way, leaf. Okay, only thing you got to do, guys, is tap these. When you see them open up, let me give you guys a good example of ones that are opened up that I can tap. Now, right through here, you see these? The leaves are leafing. And I apologize. Let me try to get up in here for y'all. Okay, you see it? Let me try to... All right. There we go, y'all. There we go. I'm my own cameraman. You know what I'm saying? So, only thing you're going to do, guys, is go down. And now, don't be all strong-fingered, okay? Don't do all that. Just give it a tap. Okay, tap them. Tap them. Especially this one, because it's open. And you're just knocking the pollen inside onto the female. That's all you're doing. Just give it a little shaky, 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 shaky. Sorry y'all for the bad. But y'all get the gist of what I'm doing, okay? And then you leave it be. When you come back out, water it, check it, do the same thing. While I'm checking my plants and we're going through this, anything you see, guys, that's not helping your plant grow, pull that up off, okay? I'm gonna go through here and pull some of these suckers off that I saw got really big. These are tomato plants in the making. So we're gonna put them down in some water, make some new tomato plants, okay? And I think I'm genuinely going to start giving some of them away that I propagate, especially to some of my followers. So if you're a follower, hit like and subscribe. And the stuff I propagate, I'm going to start sending it out to my followers. You know what I mean? Spread the word, how you can grow your own food. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Tell me in the comments if you think that's a great idea, because I think it's a great idea, because it really wouldn't cost me very much to do so, especially with the support of lots of subscribers. Look, we got some new flowers coming in there. I got some back here. I'm just going to give them a little jiggle, 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 because some of them are open. Just got to shake them up a little bit. And if you catch them and you get enough of them, guys, once the tomatoes start growing, they won't stop. And that's the honest to goodness truth. But I am going to tie this back today, because when we talk about my next plant, I really, really want it, because it's one of my, I can't believe, you know what I mean, I did it, I can believe I did it, but look what I did type things. But before we move on, one of the things I want to show you, and I'm going to address this today, and I said this is because of all the rain that we had got. You guys see at the base, notice a few things. Notice that it's clean, number one. It's not a whole bunch of leaves down here, guys. Okay, because that's the disease stuff. Now, tomatoes are pretty disease resistant, but help them out, okay? You don't got to add no pressure on them. And matter of fact, what I'm going to do here at the bottom, I see some more roots starting to try to stick out. Due to the moisture. So I'm just going to actually add a little more topsoil and mulch to this as well. You know what I mean? Because that's going to help my plant out. You understand what I'm saying? Tomato plants, you can do that too. When you see that little bit of white root, let me try to zoom up in there for you, so I can get it for you. Let me see. You see that little white root right down in here? You see right here? That's a root coming out of the side of the tomato. Move that mulch aside and put some healthy topsoil on top of that, okay? Because that's going to help this process up here. It's going to help this process up here. So I'm definitely going to address that. I'm also going to address those mushrooms you see right there down the bottom. That's just because of all the rain that we've had, because I know I've been taking care of them, okay? So that just stems from the rain. Now right here, what I am going to do, let me zoom back out, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm my own cameraman. You know what I'm saying? It's early in the morning. My wife's still in bed. Gotta respect that. She needs beauty rest. Alright, with that being said, I'm going to tie these back today, actually. See how they're laying on this? I did put it on this trellis to try to hold it back. But I'm actually going to take some twine, guys, and tie this tomato thing up, because they always be growing like this. And I'd be like, why you gotta lie to me? Don't lie to me. Just tell me it's gonna get big as hell. Just tell me that. They don't want to tell me. They don't want to tell me. They just like to lie to me. You know what I'm saying? But either way, you know what I mean? Tomatoes are coming. And I can see I'm going to have some saplings. I'm going to let some shoot out. This one looks pretty decent. I'm going to let some shoot out and grow a little bit, because I am going to propagate it. Because I like to give away my plants, guys, as well as the vegetables that they produce that I can't eat. If I can't give you the actual food, I'll at least try to give you the means so that you can do it. Okay? And this little sapling right here is almost at the point. I'm gonna let it grow a little bit more. You know what I mean? That's almost at the point. Oh, that one's pretty much at the point. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. I got some nice saplings growing on here, guys, that I'm actually going to take a couple of them off and propagate them. You know what I'm saying? And worst come to worst, I'm only going to add more tomatoes. Nobody wants them, I got more tomatoes. But if you do want them, get in my comments, because once they propagate, I'm ready to start giving some of this stuff away. All right, check it out. So I'm tying these tomatoes back, or I'm taking them off this stake, because let me move this aside. Move aside, tomatoes. I'm done talking about you. This is a blackberry plant. Let me get up on this beauty that I actually propagated last year from a stem of another blackberry that it actually caught a little disease. I didn't, I wasn't very experienced, you know what I'm saying? And I said, before this dies, let me propagate it, because I don't want to lose everything, And guys, this thing survived through the winter, and it is actually doing fantastic, okay? And this year, what I did was, it grew really tall. It grew really tall. So right in here, I topped it. And once I topped it, guys, it just started doing this damn thing. And the piece that I topped, I actually stuck it down into the ground. Now, don't judge this, because this is how this started out, okay? And as long as you keep the plant healthy, this little stick will turn into this. I know it sounds crazy, but believe it. And I did that because of the fact that I want the bush to be as full as possible. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking if I just plant the two like this, boom, boom, that it will grow really nice and full. And eventually I'll have a humongous blackberry bush, you know what I mean, doing really good, that I pretty much grew myself. And I mean, guys, it is beautiful. Look at this. Look at the leaves on here. Look at that. Look at that. I'm trying to tell you, I couldn't have purchased a better bush. And you know what I like about it? Is a lot of the berry bushes I get, or that I buy, and it doesn't really matter where from, they be having stuff on them, and they be a variety of stuff. And the fact that I actually had this from the very beginning, and I'm doing it from scratch after I cured the plant, or cured it from where I got it, because it did come from a sick plant that I had purchased. Once I had fixed all those issues, guys, you see how great this looks? This looks amazing. It really, really does. So, like, I'm really happy, because it's like the disease is like really low in it. So, and that just gives it the opportunity to grow, no stunts, lots of new leaves growing on it. So I'm really thinking by next spring or so, I really might see something, because guys, it just took off. Okay, so I'm really happy about that blackberry. That's why I want to tie these tomatoes back a little bit, because I want to make sure it's getting the adequate sun. And tomatoes they doing so much, they won't even give the blackberry plant no time. You see what I'm saying? See how they just all over? It's like them. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got to back up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because this is my baby right here. I did this right here. All right, enough about green grow guy greatness. All right, next, this is a kiwi. Now, I had a golden raspberry that I had removed out of here, because I don't know, something was happening to it, y'all, and I don't know exactly what, but it also had happened to my kiwi plant. So this was butt naked like 3 days ago. But now the leaves have started growing back. I did think it was a potassium deficiency, so I did treat everything for potassium. And then, now that I see it recovering, I have to look for other signs of disease, because if you have a potassium deficiency in your plants, it will promote other diseases. But you have to cure the potassium deficiency first in the plant. And because this is a fruit plant, it takes a lot of heat. Um, and I did have it out here right before it was about 70-degree nights. It was maybe like 50-degree nights. That could have contributed to it. But I know that the potassium is working because of the fact that the flowers have bloomed after the potassium treatment a day ago. So, and potassium will do that for you. Okay? So, know what these things do. Know what potassium does. Know what phosphate does. Know what nitrogen does. Because then you'll know how to apply it. Because then you'll know what you want. And you'll know when to apply it. Okay? So, I'm definitely putting out a potassium video, guys. So, don't worry, don't worry. And I mean, like I said, I've been doing this a long time, guys. But even with that being said, I don't know what that is on this plant. But I'm just going to pull it off because I'm like, no, I want my little kiwi. Like, you know what I mean? I want to see what it do. You know what I mean? But these are just petunia waves around it, guys. Adding some color. Adding some little pop to my garden pollinator. Okay, bring the little bees and butterflies and all that around. So that works for me. Moving back up a little bit. This is one of my pepper plants right here. See, this is the dumb stuff. He trying to get... See, it's always about somebody trying to get the spotlight. Like I said, y'all, it's been raining a lot here. It's a little slug on my leaf. I'm going to get him up out my garden. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, we had to chuck my buddy outside the greenhouse. Dampness brings that, okay? And that's how I'm going to let it air out today, y'all. I ain't worried. Now, this is my pepper plant, y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not doing much. It's just starting to do some stuff up in here. Okay? And that's because it had a white fly attack. You know what I mean? But I sprayed it down. And after spraying it down, y'all, it did start to grow higher because sometimes I notice when the pests get on your plant real hard, especially when they're young, it'll stun them. Like I said, potassium is something else that I added. This is why another reason why I decided to give the plants a potassium treatment, because I wasn't satisfied with the height and the production of my pepper plants. And that's something that will affect it. If you're doing everything else right, you can give it a monthly shot of potassium for it to do its thing, because I want this to yield enough so that we don't have to go to the market no more and buy this no more. And you can do that for a family of 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Container growing and using the right things at the right time. Okay? So with that being said, I am happy that it did grow. I'll back up because I have another one that didn't grow very much. And it's kind of upsetting. Let me zoom out so you guys can get the little height. It's doing its thing, and I'm actually happy with it because I know in the next 2 weeks it will probably be taller than the next plant standing next to it because I see its growth. I want you guys to notice the bottom. For the most part, it's clean. I'm going to be real with y'all. I'll probably take the next 2 bottom leaves off because I want them to grow almost in a pom-pom, and I wanted to put all the power right here because I feel like it's a little bit behind due to the white flies. Okay? And if you guys didn't see my white fly video, go check it out. Go check it out. Here goes the other pepper plant. They're sweet bell pepper plants, by the way. Now this one is stunted, y'all. It's stunted. I'm going to come in here today, remove these bottom leaves. Bam. You guys can see. It's going through something. The baby's going through something. You know, we're going to remove these bottom leaves. I got a little 8 up. You know what I mean? We're going to clean her off. You know what I mean? She got a potassium shot. So homegirl going to be okay. She going to be okay. But we got to pretty her up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be big and tall. Everybody, you know what I mean, can't be skinny. You know what I mean? Some plants need a little more encouragement than others. You know what I mean? So don't discard this just yet. Now, my main concern about this plant, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, is that if you look at the very top, and I'm going to zoom in, initially this plant was doing really good. Okay? It was doing really, really good. All right, and it actually had some peppers on it, but because it was so young, I pulled them off. Just protocol, guys. So it could give some chance for height and leaf growth and all these other things. So my biggest concern, guys, sorry about the camera. My biggest thing about this, guys, is that there's nothing on this plant, like not a pepper in sight, not even like not even close. Okay, because if you look at that one, you see that nothing. And we go to this one, where are they at? Right there. Those are peppers, guys. Even though they had got attacked with white flies, those are still peppers growing. I got a good amount. So when I get over here, that's my concern with this. It's still early on, but as long as I get one big production of sweet bell peppers, I should be good because I have other pepper plants, other varieties. All right, so that's not that big of a deal, but I am going to keep an eye on it, you know what I mean? And let's all keep our little pepper plant in our hearts and minds, you know what I mean? And hope for her survival and her abundant production. You know what I mean? So I'm going to stay low on the ground, guys. I do got some hanging stuff to show you guys. And I moved some stuff out of my greenhouse. Whew. And it's getting warm out here. So with that being said, this is a peppermint plant, excuse me, y'all, that clearly y'all see I need to clip today. I need to harvest some of this peppermint off of it today. It's ridiculous. My wife and I went to a variety store in our neighborhood. I'm in Philadelphia Urban Farmer, and she saw this. And guys, if you go look at my old videos, you might see snapshots of this. It was like real itty bitty, and this thing just like took off. So I'm really happy with it, guys. It smells fantastic. You may read certain things about peppermint. The values of actually consuming it, all the different things you could do with it. How it, for some pests, is a deterrent. But it's growing amazing. This is one of the plants today that I'm going to propagate. I'm at least going to propagate probably 3 plants of the peppermint, at least 2 for sure. I'm sorry, guys, my focus is off. That was the pepper plant. I'm going to at least propagate 2 peppermint plants today, because you can never have enough mint. Okay, and it grows like vines. And wait till you guys see how easy it is to propagate and how easy the survival rate is. These are great, beautiful, abundant propagation leaves to start with, you know what I mean? So I'm actually really excited about that today. That's actually definitely going down, because there's a lot of video to be made, because there's a lot of things to do in here. Even though it might not seem like it, you always have something to do, you know what I mean, in your garden, because it does something different every day. And eventually, even if it's not doing nothing, you'll just get excited and you'll be like, let me just go look and wait until it does something. Now, this is a Tabasco plant, guys, that I had purchased. And I don't know if you guys had this problem, but if it was attack of the white flies, okay, on your pepper plants for your garden, let me know in the comments, okay? Because it was on and popping for my pepper plants, and they got busy. Now, I did a video and I said how I got these from Home Depot. This is a Tabasco plant, guys. So this is a little spicy one. So the tight, compact growth, I'm okay with. I am going to clean up the bottom, because, you know, the disease, the white flies, all that be going on with these pepper plants I got this year, y'all. It's actually, it's blowing my situation. Long story short. All right. So, and I mean, am I concerned about its growth? No, because chili plants, Tabasco plants, things like that, they grow pretty, 3 feet. You know what I mean? I'm definitely happy with that. And it will produce great peppers. You know what I mean? So it's definitely on its way. I just want to make sure that I clean it up and so I can get some production of those peppers on the top. Because you see, if you can look down and see, it's a crap load of them. So I just got to get in the boom. You know what I mean? And once again, reason for potassium treatment. You know what I mean? Here's an eggplant, guys, and I'm growing it. And as you guys see, I got flowers. Hold on, let me get it in the. Let me zoom out here. Oh, there it is. So I got flowers on here, guys, right? And I've had this eggplant. I planted this from seed. Okay. Now, I did try to fertilize one of them, but I don't think I was successful because down at the bottom right there goes the leaf. And I'm like, there's something knock it off. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay because I have another flower here that's going to open. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have one down here in this area. You know what I'm saying? It's going to continue. So I'm just going to be patient with that because I was upset. I love squash, y'all. I love squash. Now, my leaves be looking a little raggedy on my eggplant. I be trying to love it, y'all. Let me zoom out for y'all. I be trying to love up on my eggplant, but I don't know. It don't be loving up on me. So, I don't know, y'all. You know what I mean? But so far, so good. I keep an eye on it. It did get the white fly attack. You know what I mean? I am treating it, keeping an eye on it, trying to keep the leaves clean and monitor it. You know what I mean? It's definitely getting enough sunlight. It's definitely getting enough water. Definitely has enough space to grow. You know what I mean? So I'm waiting. I'm personally waiting. Let's see what I got else. Oh, I got next. We can go into these pepper plants. My hanging pepper plants. These are sweet pepper plants. That's why I said, guys, if I only get one great harvest off of the bell pepper plant and a medium one off the other, I would be okay with that. Actually, I just noticed something, and I'm gonna spray this plant today because it's having remnants of something on it. If you guys see that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna spray you today, baby. Don't worry. Because as you can see, it's lots. Some of them are starting to flower again. Now, I harvested this about a week ago. Everything off of it. And I wouldn't even advise people to do that, but they just grew so simultaneously. All the way around this, I'll probably have like another 50 peppers growing on here. You know what I mean? So I'm going to spray it down today because I noticed some of that on it. You know what I mean? You can spray it with neem oil, guys. Here goes my other one. Lots of peppers still on here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you see lots of peppers still on here, all down and all through here. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have another harvest of these. Me and my wife have some in the refrigerator now. We be just eating peppers, these peppers and everything. You know what I mean? But they have great flavor, so I don't really mind. Yeah, like I said, a week ago I harvested everything off. You know what I mean? I'm going to set these couple that you see because I wanted them to get a little more color in them. And that's exactly what they're doing. Now, these are like multicolored. Some of them turn all the way red like this. Like this is definitely ready. So I had to pull this, and this one today. This one over here is ready. Once they turn fully red, they're definitely ready. But you will get some that do this. That turn this color. And you will get some that stay green. Because me touching this is ready to eat. You know what I mean? You don't want it like mushy. You know what I mean? Like this is right at the point. Like I need to pull this today, eat it very soon. You know what I mean? I like it a little firmer, or just a tad, but it's still edible. You know what I mean? It's right on point. This is actually a little firmer than I like, but it's crisp. Like, you know what I mean? So that works. So I'm going to just clip the rest of these off because they're actually ready to go. So that I can give the rest of these peppers some production because there's just so many on here. You know what I mean? And when you container grow, guys, harvest that stuff. You know what I mean? Because you're going to lose a lot of fruit. Okay, over here, guys. It's not naked. It's not naked. But I want y'all to see the vision. Show y'all the vision. All right, along the edge here, I'm actually growing pickling cucumbers. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is put some chicken wire around the edge to go around there like that and make that the trellis so it can grow up. The sun is here majority of the day, from regardless of what angle is looking at. It either comes in like this, it comes in like this, and it also comes in like that. So it'll get sun. Cucumbers like high sun. And this is going to be one of the second variations of cucumbers that I plant this year, because I have another one outside that I didn't show you guys yet. So I just planted those like 2 days ago. So I expect to see them probably by the end of next week. You know what I mean? And once they pop out, guys, I'm just going to put the trellis right in so that it can immediately start growing and grabbing on and doing this dang thing. You know what I mean? Now, right here in this section, besides where the cucumbers are going to grow, I actually am growing something new that I never grew. And it didn't come up yet, so I don't know if I'm doing a good job, bad job. I don't know yet, y'all. Okay? But I put peanuts down in here. Alright? And it does say it takes a long time for them to come up out the ground. But I want to grow peanuts, y'all, because we eat a hell amount of peanut butter. Like, when I say we eat a lot of peanut butter, we eat a lot of peanut butter. So that's something that I feel like if I grow and, you know, we make peanut butter, it's easy. Just water and peanuts, roasted peanuts, great. You know what I mean? Very easy to do. You know what I mean? Save a lot of money because peanut butter is getting so high in the store. And I like quality. I don't like all the additives. So my peanut butter actually is a little more expensive sometimes. So I'm figuring if I can grow it, I'll be so happy. So wish this section luck, y'all. This section from here to here. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. You know what I'm saying? I want to start seeing some peanuts sprout soon. And this right here, y'all, this is my decorative snail. Okay, we're going to respect him. Excuse the little white flies near him. We're going to gussy up this garden today. You know what I mean? And get it cleared out. This is my singular collard green plant. Don't laugh at me, y'all. I know it's urban farming. Don't laugh at me. I know I said singular collard green plant. But I had a whole bed of this, but for some reason it didn't do what it wanted to do. So I said until I was ready to plant over here, that I would just let it do its thing. But today is the day. I'm actually going to plant some beets in here today, so we can get those on and popping. So goodbye, Mr. Collard Green. We know I can grow it. So with that being said, I will put it down again, probably by the end of June, beginning of July, so that I can have a big fall harvest. Because once I harvest everything out of some of these beds, you know what I mean, I'll be able to use this whole entire space for collard greens. Because the way that they grow, they grew so big that they kind of smothered each other out, guys. You know what I mean? Because I had 4 in here, and it was just like, I can't. So then I just had this one left. You know what I mean? So I just let it be that. But today I'm going to take it out, put some beets in here, redress the bed. It also had caught the white flies in the very beginning. So I was doing a lot of treating and pesticide, treatment on it, just to keep the leaves like as luscious as they are. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I did a good job, but I mean, I don't know. That was a lot of work for that. So I definitely, for me, I'm going to make a vow to grow these in the cooler months when it's about to be cool compared to when it's getting hot. So I'm not going to want a spring harvest of collard greens. I'm going to put that on my docket because of the fact that the leafage is serious, and it did help keep the white flies around because that's what they like. So I'm not going to grow that in the spring. I'll probably grow it more so in the fall. And I'm just going to make a mental note of that. Okay, everybody, when we get down here, we're going to take a look at the cantaloupe, 1, 2, in the back. And here goes some yellow squash. Okay, I got a yellow squash video coming out, guys. And I got some history and emotions behind yellow squash. So when I put out that yellow squash video, make sure you watch it. You know what I'm saying? But these are definitely summer plants. Okay, guys, it is the middle of June. I planted these June 17th or 18th, because today's the 19th. Okay, and they have about 60-day grow time. All right, if you do everything right, 70 days max. You know, especially with the cantaloupe. All right, and if they're relatively easy to grow. All right, the cantaloupe is a heavy feeder like the watermelon. When I say heavy feeder, let me zoom in for y'all. When I say heavy feeder, I mean nutrients, not water. Just FYI. All right. So right now we're going to step outside of my greenhouse because we have looked at everything inside. And excuse my outside a little bit, y'all, because I'm moving things around and getting stuff together. Alrighty. Right here in front of us, this is the outdoor corn. I'm actually going to raise the height of this today so that continue to grow up, because as you see, the stalk is beginning to grow through the cover. Because I had to protect this, y'all. Because you know animals be trying to have their teeth up on your corn. And you remember what I said, what those people said in the beginning of this video. They waiting to eat my food. So with that being said, y'all, there goes the fence. And I just made it out of chicken wire. Is it really going to keep people out? Heck no. But you know what? It's going to keep the animals out. And that's the main goal. You know what I'm saying? Now right here I got a strawberry plant. I'm going to prune some of this today. Now this had a potassium treatment because of the fruit. It's starting to bear the fruit on it, okay? And I seen this fruit coming on and I'm like, why are you trying to look like that fruit? So what I'm going to do, guys, is first of all, I'm going to get a little closer. The little itty bitty stuff that is looking extra raggedy, I'm going to clip that off. Like say stuff like this right here. I'm trying to get it to focus, y'all. But just know it look raggedy. I'm going to clip some of that off so I can have this grow faster. You know, ones that are developing, that I know are about to develop. I'm going to give those a fighting chance to get nice, big, and juicy. I'm going to go around through this plant and do that. I got some new stuff going on up here. These are beautiful, y'all. One of the first times me and my wife have planted strawberries with pink flowers. Usually they have white flowers. And I'm just going to go through here, y'all, and prune everything and make sure everything is what it needs to be. But that's our strawberry plant. And this is something else that I'm going to wind up propagating. And through the fall, it's put inside the greenhouse. And, you know, you just got to see the vision. I'll explain the vision as it goes along, and you guys can see. Now, right here growing up my back window. This is the back window to my kitchen, y'all. This right here is a Concord grapevine. Now, I don't expect to get fruit off of this grapevine this year, or any of my grapevines this year, because I actually moved them out of my polycarbonate house because they were another thing that was on some stupid grow type time. So, which is a good thing. But I'm actually going to train them to grow up the house. And the way that grapevines grow is that once this brown stem hardens all the way up through, then it begins to produce the stems to then create the grapes. And this one is going to probably be the first one that gives me grapes, but it's not there just yet. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely expecting next year for it to do something great. But this year, I'm just really, really taking care of it. You know what I'm saying? And it looks fantastic. You guys see these leaves? You know what I mean? Grape leaves. You'll have a couple, you know what I mean, beat up ones. But let me look at these leaves, y'all. This looks good. These are real green. Okay? Not ate up, not tons of holes in them. And this is what you want. Even on my strawberry plants. Okay? Even on the corn that you see outdoors. It doesn't look that different than my greenhouse. You know what I mean? And I do use my greenhouse to protection grow. You know what I mean? However, I've learned my neighborhood and my demographics. And doing that, y'all, has given me the ability to protect my food, therefore give me more. Okay, and that's actually rather important. You know what I mean? Because of the space I have, I couldn't put everything inside my polycarbonate house. So I had to find a way to protect my food other ways. You know what I mean? And I did that between, you know, giving it pesticide treatment when it needs it, fertilizing things when it needs to, building little fences around stuff, caging stuff in. whatever I have to do, buy protective plants, things that deter pests, things that deter mice, things that deter other animals, that you purchase all these things along with pollinators, grow them as seeds, do whatever you got to do, but make sure you get it happening. You know what I mean? Because I did it this year, guys, and I'm trying to tell you, this stuff is looking great. All right, so I'm going to flip back around. All right, we're going to go low real quick. This is a plant that I actually purchased. I'm going to knock some of the wilted stuff off. But as you guys can see, it's full of color. It's beautiful. It's to add color to the yard. It's to give it a pollination. Everything is kind of in disarray this morning because I'm moving stuff around. But when I reorganize it, eventually I'll maybe do a short of what it actually, the garden put together, looks like. This is okra, or this is going to be okra. I just planted it yesterday, y'all. You know what I mean? I messed me up some okra. I chowed down on okra, so let me know in the comments you mess with okra like I mess with okra, because I mess with it. Now, I know it's a lot of y'all in the comments, but I don't mess with it, but I messes with it. All right? So I definitely got my okra plant down and ready for action. This is a summer plant, y'all. Okay? 70-degree nights, summer plant. That's how this gets down. Lots of sun, y'all. That's how okra plants get down. Okay? Now, I'm not going to hold y'all. It might be a point in time where I decide to grow this out front because of the sunlight being way better. And I'll just cage it up and make sure that it's secure. Because when I tell you I'm ready for this okra and my teeth to be all up on it, I'm ready for that. I'm ready. Alright? So, again, y'all, here... Anybody that knows me knows that I love dogs, Yorkies specifically. You know what I mean? But this is another petunia wave plant. Instead of it being like a pink or a burgundy, it's actually like a nice lavender. I thought that was really pretty. Just something to accent the yard, to bring the happy bugs, the bugs we want around. This is my little Yorkie Cannon. He's my support. He's my security. You know what I mean? All right, we're going to flip around and stay on the ground. It's getting hot out here already, y'all. It's getting hot out here already. Now this, at the bottom, y'all, clearly these are marigolds, okay? Now I put these marigolds at the bottom of this plant, which is watermelon, growing up, because of the fact I want to protect it. Marigolds are a protective plant. They deter, you know, mice, rats, things like that. So something you really want to put your teeth up on. And this is Urban Farmer, so you know I want to put my teeth up on the Sugar Baby watermelons. I look like this. And I don't have no shame in that. So with that being said, y'all, these watermelon, now, you know, I care about the watermelon. So what I'm going to do today, guys, is you see I got the 2 stakes. I was waiting for it to grow up a little bit to see how it was going to go. Now I'm going to make a little U on top for it today. Tie that all in. Because I'm going to train these watermelon to grow up this trellis a little bit around the sides and all that. Get a nice firm grip up on this chicken wire. So I can get a couple melons out of this. I want at least 5-6 melons to grow up off of this year. You know what I'm saying? And right now, y'all, I'm trying to tell you, this looks beautiful. The leaves look good, and this is young. This plant is young, y'all. It's only about 3 weeks old, both of these plants. So, you know what I mean? It's doing fantastic. I'm just going to tack it to turn it today. You know what I mean? Nice and straight, so they facing each other, and put a U on top so that it can do its growth thing, y'all. Now, against the wall, y'all, I'm going to zoom in. I did a video on how I was maximizing my space, y'all, and planting some herbs up along my fence in these potters right here. And I wasn't sure how it was going to work, if I was going to be able to protect it. So what I did was rosemary and thyme and oregano and things like that, along with marigolds, they deter all type of pests. It actually worked out really good because these herbs being along my fence line actually has served as a deterrent for anything, any type of critter that wants to run along up top of here. Okay, they had to jump down into some mess they don't like. You know what I mean? So they're actually rather against that. You know what I mean? But as you can see, I got to harvest some of it today, y'all, because it's busting out. You know what I mean? Sometimes it got to bust out and show ninjas. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's doing. So the yellow, of course, we already said is the marigolds. Next to that is the basil. Big leaf basil. This is regular basil, but the leaves is growing really big. So I'm going to take some of that off oregano. You know what I mean? That grew into a humongous bush because, y'all, I got some, it starts out like that. It starts out like that. Right there. Sitting in that cup. So I planted it. And now I got that right here. You know what I mean? And then, of course, we got some more marigolds. You know what I mean? Now, when I get up here to the top, on the both ends, I got rosemary, another deterrent. You can see it's healthy. I'm gonna zoom in even more. Y'all see, just glistening in the sun. Extremely healthy. I'm gonna cut this back today. You know what I mean? Because I definitely use this stuff for cooking. So I'm gonna cut this stuff back today. And in the center, where it's empty, I just planted some thyme in there yesterday. Okay? Now, down here, I'm gonna zoom out for y'all. I'm gonna go all big. You don't know what's going on. Down here, y'all, this is my sweet potato table. Okay? This is a summertime potato. Alright? As you see, they are growing. I'm actually about to put out a video on sweet potatoes. I was just waiting to show you guys the progress. You know what I mean? It did get a little buggy on the top, but I sprayed it. And ever since then, they've been pretty okay. Now, let me get up on here as much as I can so y'all can see down in here. Now, this is a deep grow bed. And what I did, guys, is, you know, just filled it up, planted these things down, and I covered it. I covered it because I don't want nothing getting in here, burrowing up in here, disturbing and messing up my sweet potatoes. And so far, so good. Now, I allowed these leaves to grow up above the top for a few reasons. Number one, if you allow the sweet potatoes to lay and continue to grow, the plant will continue to root over and over again. So you do want to plant them in a position where you have a certain amount of roots going in the ground, and then you have a certain amount of foliage that never gets roots, so that the potato has time to grow instead of it always working on growing new roots and putting new roots down and attaching to the ground. So we're going up through here. I can pull the leaves up and through and let them hang over the top and create a beautiful green foliage. If I want to create slips out of this, I can. If I want to eat this foliage, because the leaves, as you see, you know, that's just why I take care of the leaves. The leaves look good, y'all. The leaves look good. You know what I mean? You can eat sweet potato leaves. You know what I'm saying? So some of this for me is going to become slips. If you guys watch my video, I go into the cost of sweet potato slips and how they can run you up. So if you can, you know, get them like I get them, or get them like I had got them this time around, let the slips mature, cut them down, you know what I mean? Have more slips on standby. So when you're ready to plant your next round of sweet potatoes, you got the slips on hand. You know what I mean? And you can eat this foliage on the top. So you want to kind of keep that as pretty as possible, because I like to eat pretty leaves, y'all. I don't like to eat no busted leaves, and y'all can see that these are pretty. And I intend to keep them pretty. Keep them. I don't want them to lay on the mulch, you know what I mean, and get moist. And you're going to get some that turn colors, guys, because that's what happens as it loses chlorophyll and the leaf begins to do its job. Try to keep that very minimum. Try to pull it off, because you know that can give mold and disease and all these things. Fungus and blah, 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 blah. We all know these things now. You watch enough of my videos to know that. But these are the sweet potatoes, y'all. They doing good. They're doing real, real good. I'm very, very happy. You know what I mean? I cannot wait to pull these out. And y'all know that's what I'm going to do. All right, over here is another Concord grape that I'm actually training to grow up and over to my other Concord grape. So I'm thinking I'm going to zoom out so you guys can get a better idea. It's kind of close. So it's growing. This big long piece that's hanging over the coop, I'm going to bend it back. I'm going to bend it back this way. I'm going to train it to go behind that light that you see right there, and to grow all alongside this wall here and into this. and then I'm gonna stop it, and we're gonna, always keep it groomed and trained to the fence line. You know what I mean? So that piece that's actually growing up and over, I'm gonna pull it down today and train it to grow that way. You know what I mean? Because I just want it to be the top of my, right there. That's how I want it to look all the way across from here to there. I don't want the leaves growing over into the neighbor's yard, because at any time, regardless if they're occupying the house or not, anybody could come and start cutting and doing stuff and killing your stuff, y'all. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to try to train it and keep it as nice as I can. You know what I mean? So that I can get all the fruit I can get. Now we move down. This is a basket that I bought from Home Depot. I was copying off my wife. I thought it was cute. It's doing good. It's on the second round of flowers. Heat got it a little bit or whatever. But it looks good, y'all. It's a pollinator. Excuse me. It's supposed to bring hummingbirds and things like that. And that's what you want. You want pollinators. You want things that attract bees and hummingbirds and butterflies, because those are the ones that need the sap and the pollen from inside of your plants. And they transfer it, and then stuff gets to growing, and it's less work for you. Don't judge my raggedy rose bush right now, y'all, because I know I got to come out here and prune this down. You know what I'm saying? I know I got to do right by it, because I'm not. But if anybody know anything about roses, they just grow. Grow. You know what I'm saying? And there's really not much more information you could probably get on a rose bush besides the fact that I need to cut my roses off. You know what I mean? So with that being said, we're going to move down to this cucumber here. I'm going to move, this is my garden trash bag. I'll move that for y'all. Okay. This is my cucumber plant right here. Okay, this is about a week and a half old, so I'm actually very happy about it. I did give it a phosphate treatment. Y'all see, I'll be having my stuff in cage because I don't play that. You're not eating up on my stuff. You know what I mean? I want it. So the same thing as the corn as it grows. As it grows, I'll just build it up. Let's see if I can get it. It looks really healthy though, guys. I'm actually really happy about how healthy it looks. I'll zoom out a little bit. I'm actually very happy about how it looks. Very, very happy. And last but not least, here is a blueberry bush. Now, y'all, I know this look raggedy, but my wife wanted me to keep it. I propagated it, and she's like, it's alive. And it is. It is alive. You know what I mean? She don't want me to give up on it because she thinks it can do miraculous things. You know what I mean? And, I'm starting to believe it because I didn't put it in harm's way so many times for it to get destroyed, y'all. And it just keeps it ticking. So I'm actually going to hook this up today and start treating it like one of the family. You know what I mean? It is a blueberry bush. You know what I mean? So I'm going to get it looking better. I'm going to gussy it up a little bit because clearly I can't kill it. So with that is my urban farm as of thus far. And what I got going on. It's hot. It's hot out here right now, y'all. But that's what I got going on right now, y'all. So as always, make sure y'all hitting the subscribe button, okay? The likes, leave me some comments, you know what I mean? I'll see you next time.